Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we are looking at the Kuat Transfer V2 2-bike rack here on our 2021 Hyundai Tucson. Now, the Kuat Transfer is an awesome bike rack if you want something that is really easy to work with in terms of putting your bike on and off, and if you want something that has that really cool goalpost design. It has a bunch of different features, but let's look at the first one, which is that it can tilt away. To do so, you have different options for it. What I like to do is put that clamp to that side, because then I can just walk straight into it, step on this lever, and then it tilts down just like that. And you'll want to do this if you want to access your hatch. So you can see here on our Hyundai Tucson that as the door opens, you have clearance between the door and your handlebars. For here, it comes a little bit close because I kind of have longer handlebars, but it still made it, and that allows me to get into my trunk, grab my bags, my water, my helmet, without having to take my bike off, which is nice and convenient, especially if you want to just get on the trail and get on the road right away. To bring it back up, you just lift it up and it snaps into place. So the way this works is that this has a weight capacity of 40 pounds per bike. If you have extra heavy, like electric bikes, you can get the Kuat Transfer, but the one with a 2-inch solid shank, because that has a 60-pound weight capacity. But if you have just a regular, easy-to-use bike like what I have here, this is more than enough for your weight needs. So this has a front wheel clamp, so that comes down and secures our bike by the front wheel. And then that means if you have an alternate frame bike, like a step-through bike, a women's bike, a children's bike, this reduces your need for a frame adapter bar. Here in the back, we have this wheel strap, and this can fit bikes tires of up to 3 inches. And if you have a fat tire bike, you can get the extra long strap, and that's going to come down here and ratchet that wheel into place. But when you want to take your bike off, this is where you start, by pressing that lever, pulling up on that strap, and putting it out of the way. Then coming up here to the front, make sure to hold onto your bike as you do so. You press this button, lift up on that clamp, push that out, and from here, it's just a slight lift and you are ready to go on a bike ride. And with that bike out of the way, let's take a closer look here at the cradles. So we have this rear wheel cradle, and this can tilt back and forth to accommodate different wheelbases. We took a look at that ratcheting strap down here. So let's go look at the front. Here at the front, we have this front wheel mount, and this also ratchets down to secure that front wheel. You have different options depending on how you want it to sit. You can either have your hook far out to the side or close inside. Either way, do whatever you need to do to take advantage of that goalpost design. So when you have a bike rack behind your vehicle, there is a little bit of length added to the back of it. Let's take some measurements to see how it's going to work with your own personal vehicle. So from our rear bumper, right over there, to the back of the bike rack, which is right where that lock is at the end, it sits at 32.5 inches. That's normal for a 2-bike rack. It's still a length to keep in mind when you're backing into your garage or trying to park into a tight spot. Let's also talk about ground clearance. Measuring from underneath the tray, right there, it sits at 18.75 inches. Measuring here from the shank, it sits at about 12.25 inches. Now that's okay ground clearance. It's good. It has a bit of that shank rise. That way your bikes are sitting a bit higher off the ground, because when you go on that incline, like a driveway or a hill, your back is going to come down, so you're going to want that extra height so it doesn't hit the ground. Another thing this does is that this folds up. And to do so, you press that lever, you pull up on that bike rack, and then it folds up against your vehicle. So let's take some measurements to see how much length it adds now. From our back bumper to the back of the bike rack where that goalpost is, it's about 9.5 inches. Now this wheel, this clamp is a little bit further out, so that sits at 11.25 inches. Closest point between our bike rack and our vehicle is right here by our rear bumper to our large front wheel cradle, and that's 3.25 inches away. which is plenty of space. You don't have to worry about any contact between our bike rack and our vehicle. With it folded up like this, let's take a look at how it fits behind there, because you have your taillights on each side. So 1, 2 taillights, those are still completely open. Our rear window is completely open and visible, but my favorite thing about the goalpost design is right here in the back. You can see how that U shape has an opening for your rear camera, so this is completely visible, as well as your license plate. Most bike racks, when folded up, are gonna cover that license plate, so if your local laws require this to be visible at all times and you're really worried about that, this might be a really good option for you. While we're down here, let's take a look at how it fits into our hitch. So this version has an 1.25" shank with a 2-inch hitch adapter. So whether your car has the 1.25" hitch or a 2-inch hitch, it's gonna fit both of them. It comes with a hitch pin and a clip. If you wanna lock that, you can pick up a lock here at eTrailer. Either way, this fits into there and uses a security wrench to tighten down the anti-row ball cam, because it doesn't have an anti-row bolt. So as I shake the bike rack, kind of to simulate like the road stress and the vibration and the bumps, you can see here how I'm mainly shaking the vehicle at this point. That way any sway your bike experiences is from the road and not extra sway added from an improper connection, which means there's a smoother ride for your bikes over the long term. All right. So my final thoughts about the Kuat Transfer V2 is I really like that goalpost design. If you are worried about covering your license plate, this is the bike rack to go with. If you need a little extra weight capacity, you might want to upgrade to different transfer or possibly like the Kuet NV. But if you just have a normal bike and it's not extra heavy, this will work out really well for you with all the extra premium features. So that was a look at the Kuat Transfer V2 2 bike rack here on our 2021 Hyundai Tucson.